Here's your host, Dennis Rimmer.
Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to another edition of the Talking Books and Stuffs podcast. And with us today from beautiful downtown Vancouver, BC. Well, I don't know about Vancouver itself, but anyway, I have Christine Stringer with us. Christine Stringer, how are you doing these days?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, it's a beautiful day in Vancouver over here. So there's no complaints when it's beautiful in Vancouver when the sun's shining.
So you're in Vancouver now, but we have lots to talk about. The book we're going to discuss with Christine is Charity Trickett is Not So Glamorous. So before we get to that, Christine, can you tell us a little bit about your early days? Where'd you grow up, go to school, that kind of thing?
Well, I was born in Albany, New York, and then grew up. My early childhood was in Toronto, and then Vancouver when I was 12 years old and higher was in Vancouver. I went to the University of British Columbia and studied English and theater, and then I moved to LA for a short stint working in film, and then back to Vancouver.
Well, there you go. So talked about the book Charity Trickett is Not So Glamorous. How would you describe it to somebody you first met on the street if you only had 30 seconds?
I'd say that it's a nice, light-hearted read, a good beach read, based on my life in my early 20s when I worked at MGM in Los Angeles, and people are calling it Bridget Jones in Hollywood.
So, what got you interested in the movie business in the first place? I mean, lots of us watch the movies, but not all of us get involved in behind the scenes in the business.
I love film so much. I always have as a kid. I was told by my parents, they limited me to 2 hours of television a day, which was wasn't enough television for me. But no television and film would be enough for me. And then I got into theater as a young child. I acted a lot. I sang and danced. And I went to UVic for their theater department. When I graduated from UVic, I was nannying for a family in West Vancouver who were very into the film industry in Los Angeles and Vancouver. And he suggested, I was going to go back for law school, and he suggested that I try film out, that I wouldn't enjoy being a lawyer. So I was hooked. As soon as I saw behind the scenes of making a movie, it was just like the theater, but on a grander scale. It's completely my world is playing make-believe on a grand scale.
Well, I hate to talk about myself, but I will. But yeah, I know I've been a background player, I guess you call it, in one movie that was shot in Victoria that had Bruce Dern in it.
Okay.
Let's see, a couple of TV shows and movies that were filmed locally. So, oh yeah, I love that stuff. I could do that forever. Just sitting in the waiting to be take your first positions. Is that what they call it? And yep. Roll them and all that stuff. It's just great. Yeah. So I know what you mean about just the kind of stuff that goes on behind the scene. I love reading stories or histories about the early days of the movie industry, and I kind of wish sometimes I was born in 1905 so I could have been somehow involved in Hollywood in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, but that's beside the point. So what was your first kind of role or job then in the movie industry, Christine Stringer?
I was a production assistant, and so I started in the office, and then I went on set. And I remember one of my first jobs was I was a production assistant on a film starring a snowboarding monkey, and being stuck on this mountain, and it was springtime, so it was snow on the ground, but it was raining, and just having my rain gear completely soaked through, and my boots completely soaked through, and I reached into my pocket and I found 5 wet Smarties that didn't even have any color left in them, and I was just like, I'm so depressed. I'm just gonna eat these gross Smarties.
A snowboarding monkey. Well, that makes sense. And then we could have snowboarding monkey too.
Yeah, I think he started as a skateboarding monkey, and then he moved on to a snowboarding monkey.
Okay, so let's back up a bit. I'm sorry, I'm babbling here. It's my fault. What is a production assistant? What exactly, or is there any real definition?
Yeah, well, a PA is what they call it for short, is
Yep.
somebody on set, and there's various jobs. It's babysitting the trailers, making sure that people don't break into the trailers, or that, when people aren't on set, the set doesn't catch on fire, or it's when when the first AD calls rolling, you're making sure that everybody is being quiet, that the set's locked up. You do a lot of traffic control, so if you're moving trucks in, you're moving the trucks in. You're setting up chairs in the extras tent, you're popping up the tent, all that kind of stuff, all the grunt work. You're changing lots of garbages. So I've changed a lot of garbages on set in my day.
Oh, good.
And you yell rolling and cut about 500 times.
Oh, really? Well, that would be
Yeah.
fun. Oh, that's sort of like a secondary command.
Yeah, so the first assistant director will go quiet on set, rolling, and then all the PAs around go rolling, rolling.
Yep, gotcha.
Yeah.
And well, my wife was in television for 44 and a half years, so she knows all that stuff. And I said, if you had a chance, would you go do this kind of stuff? And she said, oh, in a heartbeat, in a moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
she loves that.
There's a certain artistic camaraderie on set, even at the level of being a PA.
Right.
You work such long hours together that if you're on a set where the director's really great and the producers are really great, you really do become like a little tight knit family because you work so hard for so many hours.
Yes?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought you dropped away
sorry.
there for a minute. So many, yes.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's not.
So many hours a day.
Yeah, I played a corpse once.
Oh, cool.
Then William B. Davis was the coroner or something. And he was I don't know about a personal guy. I won't talk about that, but it was wonderful. He was very generous, I guess you would say, as an actor, and it was in a scene with him and Peter Strauss. So
Oh, great.
that was a TV show they filmed in Saskatoon. It was for 4 episodes before the network dumped it. So too bad, because
Well,
it would have been a great little hospital type drama kind of thing,
oh,
So, yeah.
well, they got 4 episodes. That's good for Canadian television.
Yeah. Sorry, I digress. So you're a public assistant, PA, and apparently, I hate to say this, but you lost a movie. Is that true?
Yeah, so this was years later. So now I was a personal assistant on films and TV. So I was assisting all of the big producers and directors that came to Vancouver. And so that role was you're side by side with the person running the show. And I was working on a film that was being shot in Vancouver, starring The Rock, called Walking Tall. And the director at the end of the shoot said, why don't you move to LA and be my assistant at MGM? So I moved to LA. I was there within 2 weeks, packed up my car, and when I was in LA working at MGM, it was probably about a month before the film was released. We were doing a test screening in El Segundo, and that's when the studio hires or invites an audience to come watch the movie for free, and they do like a question and answer period. Anyways, I brought a copy of the film to the test screening so that the director could take the DVD home after the screening with the Q&A fresh in his mind so he can do his editing notes. And I lost the DVD.
Oh, and that got you apparently into lots of trouble.
I was under FBI investigation for piracy. It turns out that I was pickpocketed, and the man who pickpocketed me was trying to extort MGM for millions of dollars. So I was interrogated by the FBI. My phones were tapped, the whole 9 yards.
Now, this plays into the Charity Trickett is not so glamorous story as well, does it?
This is the story of Charity Trickett is Not So Glamorous. Yeah, but I pepper in a love story there, so it's not as depressing. And there's some shenanigans that happen where Charity ends up in a tabloid scandal. So it's all fun and games.
All fun and games. So, how much of Charity Trickett is Christine Stringer and vice versa?
I think that Charity is everything that I wish I was back then. When you're writing a character who is in their 20s as an older woman now with much more experience under my belt, it's you can write a richer character and a stronger character. So the way that Charity reacts to certain situations that she finds herself in, she handles it with more maturity and grace than I did back then.
Oh, so you set the book in 1997. Why 1997? I mean, you were hardly born in 1997.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. I love the 90s. I love pop culture so much. For me, the reason why I wanted to make it in 1997 is because I wanted to place the book in Hollywood within that time, before HD and before influencers and smartphones and all that kind of stuff, because the landscape of Hollywood has really changed. Back in the 90s and the early 2000s, movie stars were the epitome of celebrity. Now, no shade on an influencer. I love the influencers. I love the Kardashian. I'm mourning the loss of Vanderpump Rules. I love all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to explore that world of Hollywood where movie stars were it, because I love movies so much. And it's a tribute to Hollywood.
And the book is called Charity Trickett is Not So Glamorous, and we're with Christine Stringer, the author. And I know you probably get asked this a lot, but do you have a favorite movie of all time?
Oh, I couldn't possibly pick a favorite movie of all time. I mean, I could list a few. Moonstruck is probably one of my all-time favorites. I could watch that again and again.
That's
Dirty
with
Dancing.
Cher
Cher.
and Nicolas Cage in Moonstruck.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Dirty Dancing. I love Dirty Dancing so much. I mean, anything with Patrick Swayze. I loved Clueless so much. Clueless is actually the first title of the chapter title of the first chapter in my book. So each chapter is a pop culture reference from the 90s. So you'll get a big sense of my 90s pop culture taste by reading the book. And I hope that people, either if they haven't lived that era and don't know the pop culture references, I hope that I've opened up a world of fun for them.
And what do you hope the book will do?
I mean, I hope the book performs well, because I've got a second one that I'm writing, Charity Trickett, The Fame Game. So I'd really like to see that get launched. So a successful first book would be great. A successful second book would be great. And a third, and hopefully a movie comes out of it too, because that would be a full circle moment for me to get Charity Trickett back into film.
Got you. And going back to your days behind the scenes in the film, TV, movie industry, are they all the film directors and producers, are they all lunatics?
No, not at all. I've had the pleasure of working with some of the most talented and creative people that I know. And sure, Hollywood has this reputation of being seedy and all this kind of stuff, and there certainly is that side to it. But I think all in all, most of the people that I worked with are just fans of the genre and just want to be part of making movie magic.
So, give me a bit of a background, or us a background bit. Like, what is an executive producer, for instance?
An executive producer would be, if it's a studio production, an executive producer would be the representative of the studio. So that person makes sure that the vision of the film and the vision of the director is seen through. An executive producer could be somebody who, in independent film, raised money to make that film. An executive producer could be somebody who brought the project into fruition. So maybe it didn't have much to do with the actual physical production itself, but put together the pieces to develop the project.
Ah.
But there's so many different facets of producing that it's a very gray area.
Yeah. And an associate producer, kind of the same, only different?
An associate producer would be somebody who had a little less involvement, maybe more of a boots on the ground kind of a producer, and every day like looking over the production side of things, or maybe had more of a minor role in the development of the film. For instance, I was an executive producer on a couple independent films, but they were films that I wrote, and so those films, my involvement as an associate producer was, when there was a smaller shoot, I'd be helping to run that smaller shoot. I'd put together smaller shoots and make sure that the schedule was tight and that kind of stuff.
And then just a producer is kind of the person who makes the day-to-day stuff happen?
Yes, yeah. I would say that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then their film crews are so diverse. Like, how many? There must be, well, I know there's, 50, 100 different people on set at any time?
Yeah, I've worked on film crews as small as 20 people, and as large as 500.
And the thing, see, here in Saskatchewan, being a stupid place, the government, in its wisdom, decided to cut all of the subsidies and tax breaks and stuff for the film industry, because they didn't think it was like a business that was manly, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. But the people in the film industry work damn hard and for long hours, and they make some money, and the money would stay in the province, and then they would encourage other people to carry on. And so all the people that were involved in Saskatchewan moved to Alberta and Manitoba and BC. Thanks a lot. It's kind of coming back a bit now, but boy, what a stupid move that was, in my opinion.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but at least...
Yeah, the film industry in Vancouver is thriving. We have a really great infrastructure for it here, and it's always it's a lucrative industry for Vancouver for sure.
Oh, for sure. It was. I worked at C-Fun Radio in the 70s and 80s, but in the 80s it kind of started a little bit with 21 Jump Street and Airwolf.
Oh, I was an extra on that.
Ah, there you go. And Airwolf, were you an extra on that too?
No, I was too young for Airwolf, but I think that 21 Jump Street went into, this was like after Johnny Depp left, so like the Peter DeLuise kind of era, and so I think I was still young. I was in grade 8 or grade 9 when I was an extra there.
And then of course the 90s with the X-Files really kicked things off, I think.
It really did. X-Files was our first huge show, award-winning show that was able to be done entirely in Vancouver. Post was in LA, but all the physical production was in Vancouver, and I think that it really showed off the talent of our crews here in Vancouver, and it was beautifully shot. It was a gorgeous show.
And like you say, there's infrastructure now, meaning studios and post-production and all that kind of stuff, the sound recording and the big, was there a big studio in Burnaby somewhere?
There's big studios in Burnaby. There's one on the North Shore, and then we've got, oh gosh, I don't know how many studios we have now in around Burnaby area, probably 3 or 4, but we've got a ton of sound stages. And then the other thing that we do too is we just take over warehouses and rig them up like a sound stage because they're big enough.
Right. Yeah, I keep saying to my wife, we should just move to Vancouver and be extras, because I'm sure they're always looking for a sweet old couple to sit in the corner in a cafe or something and sip coffee.
100%. My mom has a really good friend, and she loves being an extra because she's like, there's always a party scene. And she said, I don't have any opportunity to wear my nice dresses anymore now that I'm an old lady, and nobody invites me to parties anymore, but I go to work and I can wear all my beautiful jewels and all my beautiful dresses.
Yeah.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah, it's great. And then, well, it's not easy, but you do your bit, whatever you're supposed to do, and then sit around for 20 minutes and read a book or write a letter or check your phone, and then, oh, got to do it again. So you go back and do it again. So it's,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And I think like our extras wranglers here, they've been in the industry for so long. I think that they keep everybody nice and happy. I would hope so. But the extra wranglers I know are just really nice people and try and keep everybody really happy in the extras tent because it can get a little monotonous at times.
yeah, but at least you get fed once in a while. So.
Yeah.
And we're talking with Christine Stringer. Sorry for the offshoot there, everybody. But let's get back a little bit more. Christine Stringer, why exactly do you write? What's in it for you?
I've always been a storyteller. I come from a long line of family who were storytellers. My granddad loved telling stories to the point that we were like, is this real or is this fake? Like, he told so many stories that when I was dating my husband, I would tell him these stories that, like, one was said my granddad used to run a railroad in India. And he said one day my dad was watching the trains cross and he became cross-eyed. And so he had to have the trains run in reverse to uncross-eye him. And I believe this story. This is a story that my granddad told me from when I was little. And my husband's like, or my boyfriend was like, there's no way that that could happen. They cross it the same way. They don't cross another way. So I get my storytelling from that kind of a lineage. My dad, he loves telling stories too. He runs a small paper here in Vancouver, and he writes a lot of biographies of local people. And growing up, I loved being in my room and making up stories and acting and playing, and that's always my life.
Now, other than not being allowed to sing in the car, do you have any other hidden talents?
Well, I do a really good Britney Spears impression.
Oh, okay.
So that is probably my greatest talent.
Well, hit me, baby, one more time.
There you go.
Oh,
Yep.
jeez. Okay. So I'm assuming that your husband is a normal guy.
Yeah, he's as normal as they come.
Thought so.
He really is, which is wonderful for me.
Yep, I can tell. A couple more questions, Christine Stringer. First of all, your publisher. Tell us who the publisher is and how you got involved with that group.
She Writes Press. I met them because I was looking to get published. I had an agent, and he started selling the script around, but it was COVID time. It was like 2020, March and April of 2020 is when I tried to sell this book first.
Right. Ah.
And it was the worst time to sell a book ever in the publishing industry because nobody knew what was happening, nobody was working, all this kind of stuff. And so I just kind of became disheartened by the process, of course. And we kind of pitched the right people. But because nobody was printing any books, it was just a tough sell. So after a few years, I hooked up with this publicist, Crystal Petriarch, from Booksparks. And she is the publicist for Taylor Jakin Reads. And I said to her, I'm like, look, I'm just looking for a little bit of advice. My books are similar to Taylor's in that it blurs the line between what is reality and fiction. So the reader is constantly questioning, is this real? Did this actually happen? Or is this fictionalized? Other than that, my books are very much more chick lit and Taylor's is far more literary. Anyhow, so this publicist, Crystal, she said, well, let me check out your book. So I sent it to her. She's like, I love it. This is what we're going to do. She's like, do you have money to do a hybrid publishing? And I said, yeah, absolutely. She goes, well, let's do that. Let's get the book out there and just publicize it really well and see where it goes from there.
And the copy we have came wrapped in a pink ribbon. Whose idea was that?
Well, that was my pink ribbon.
I love it. It's great. We're using it now to hold up a tree in our backyard, but that's a different story.
Oh, must look beautiful.
Yeah. It's we just got the tree last week, and so to make sure it grows properly, we have a stick next to it, and the ribbon is holding the stick to the tree.
Gorgeous. There you go.
Well, and then, of course, every time we look at the tree, we'll think of Christine Stringer and Charity Trickett. So, Charity or Christine, you have a website, I'm sure. Can you tell us about that?
ChristineStringer.com. You can get all the information from the book there. You can purchase the book there too. There's all the links to all the places where you can buy the book. The book is in all bookstores across Canada and the United States, in Amazon online too. So you can pretty much get it anywhere.
Right.
And then there's also a link too, is if you want me to zoom into your book club, I can do that. And there's a little form for you to fill out there. I'm happy to come chat Hollywood and stuff.
Hollywood and stuff. It's great. And again, I want to thank you very much for your time. Good luck with your upcoming projects, which I see right here would be Charity Trickett, the Fame Game, Charity Trickett Having It All, and on. And there could be, like you said, a whole Bridget Jones type series that could last well into forever.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Yeah, all right. Well, thanks again very much.
Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate it. This is such a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for visiting with us today. This is Talking Books and Stuff with Dennis Rimmer. Contact him at dennis@talkingbooks.tk. Thank you, and may all the good news be yours. Oh, and don't forget to check out his book, The Great Canadian Notebook, available across Canada and at amazon.ca.